Hey, what's up you guys, it's Forge and welcome back to another Minecraft mod review, and today we're doing the thermal expansion mod once again, and we are going to be looking at item filters, retrievers, and the redstone relay from the thermal expansion mod. So yeah, as always, let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to look at, as I said, is the filters, and this is made with 2 iron nuggets, 2 iron ingots, 1 paper and 1 glass, and that'll give you 2 filters, and these basically allow you to filter items at the other end of the item duct as opposed to the servo, which we covered in the last video. And then you can also upgrade this filter, so with 2 iron nuggets, 1 glass, 1 paper and 2 invar ingots, you can get a hardened filter, which basically allows you to have more filter slots as well as more filter options, so you can filter metadata as well. As you can see, there's a difference between these two. You can also just upgrade the basic filter by placing a filter with an invar ingot and you will get a hardened filter. And then we have the reinforced filter, and this has more filter options once again, and it also allows you to filter more items out of it. So we craft this with 1 glass, 1 paper, 2 electrum ingots and 2 iron nuggets. You can also upgrade this either by combining an electrum ingot with a regular filter or a hardened filter like so. I don't know why I set it out like this, it kind of looks confusing, but you can get yourself a reinforced filter. And then we have the signalum filter, which again adds more filter slots and more options for the filter options. And this is crafted with 2 iron nuggets, 1 glass, 1 paper and 2 signalum ingots, and that'll give you a signalum filter. And then again you can upgrade it straight like that as well. And then finally we have the resonant filter, and the resonant filter again is the top tier. The resonant's always the top tier in this mod, and this is crafted with 2 iron nuggets, a glass, a paper and 2 enderium ingots, or you can upgrade any of the 4 filters we've covered with an enderium ingot to make you a resonant filter. So as I said, these are placed on the other end of the item duct, so if the item was coming from this strong box here, we'd place it on this end, and this won't actually pull anything out of the chest. It'll just allow us to filter the amount, the item that goes in here. So if I had like a stone piece in here and I just wanted stone to come through, or not stone to come through, blacklist means it won't come through and whitelist means only stone can come through. So if I extract through this then and I place my stone in there, you'll see that the stone will move through. But if we change this to blacklist, the stone will not move through because it is filtered out. And that's about all this basic filter can do. You can also prevent and allow oversending. That means if this chest is full, it will allow it to keep trying to send items into this. Whereas if this is off, then it will stop items from coming through and probably decrease the amount of lag you have. So yeah, also we have the hardened one, and as you can see, there are more filter slots in this guy. There's also a use metadata, and that means the amount of damage a tool or something would have on it, so it can filter that out now as well. And then we have the reinforced one, which again has more stuff and also allows you to increase and decrease the total amount of things in the inventory, and that's the first time you can do this with one of these filters is at this level. So if we go ahead and do that and we just limit this to 1 or something like so, and we placed stone in here, you'll notice only 1 will move because we're only allowing 1 item in the chest. If we did it 2, another 1 would move, and if we did it up to 18, then 18 would come across, etc, etc. You can keep increasing up to 64, or you can decrease it back down to infinite. This also allows you to have the NBT or dictionary mod owner filters as well to it. And then we have the signalum one, which just has more space basically, and yeah, allows you to increase the max inventory size up to 128. It has all the same filter options though. And then we have the resonant, which again has more space than this guy here, and also allows you to increase this up to 320 items. So yeah, that's the difference between the 5 different filters. Okay guys, the next thing we have are these retrievers, and these essentially act as both a filter and a servo, so it's basically the combined. And the base servo is made with a piece of glass, 2 iron nuggets, 2 iron ingots and an eye of ender, and basically it just pulls distant items and fluids to itself. And it has all different extraction rates and stuff like that, different whitelists and everything. I'll get into the more specifics when we show them off. And then we have the hardened retriever, and this is made with 2 iron nuggets, 1 glass, 2 invar ingots and an eye of ender. And you can also upgrade these retrievers once again by combining a retriever with an invar ingot, and this will make you a hardened retriever, and as you can see, it's got a faster extraction rate, max stack size, etc. And then we have the reinforced retriever, and this is crafted with 2 iron nuggets, 2 electrum ingots, 1 eye of ender, and 1 glass, and that'll give you a reinforced retriever. And again, you can upgrade these using an electrum ingot. And then finally we have, well, not finally for this chest then, let's say, we have the signalum retriever, and this is made with 2 iron nuggets, 2 signalum ingots, an eye of ender, and a piece of glass. And again, you can obviously upgrade this guy into a signalum retriever using any of the 3 previous retrievers and a signalum ingot. And now finally we have the resonant retriever, and this basically is the best one, and this is made with 2 enderium ingots, an eye of ender, a piece of glass, and 2 iron nuggets. And yeah, this is the top tier guy, and he can also be upgraded using any of the 4 predecessors and an enderium ingot. So the difference between these and the servo and the filter is you place it on the end that you want the item to come out of, like the filter, and you can control the stack size extracted with the base level one, so you can extract 8 items at a time, and if I turn it on, it will start extracting items out 8 at a time and pulling them over into this chest, like so. And you can obviously blacklist and whitelist with this one. The hardened retriever then has the metadata function, and also you can move 16 items at a time. And then the reinforced is where we then introduce the total items in inventory, so you can decrease and increase that. And also you can just control the amount of items pulled at a time, as well as you have the nearest first option, which you didn't have over here, so you can change it to furthest, random, etc. So it's just pulling. It acts as a servo on the other end, basically. And you have the mod owner and or dictionary options, as well as MBT now as well. And then we have the signalum one, which again just has the difference of the max stack size movable and its speed of moving stuff. And also the fact that you can change up to 128 items in a chest at a time. And then we have the resonant one. And this has, again, 320 items, plus you can move a stack size of 64, plus it makes it faster in the item duct, etc. And it has all of these options as well. So essentially, these are just servos and filters combined, and they're kind of more useful than both, to be honest with you. Depends what you need it for, though. Okay, guys, and we have next the redstone relay, and this basically allows you to transfer redstone signals through all sorts of item ducts and stuff like that. So we have the signalum nuggets to craft this, obviously. It's 2 signalum nuggets, a nether quartz, 1 redstone, and 2 lead ingots. And I'll show you how this thing works. Now, it's going to take a bit of explaining, though. Also, I feel like I should mention the redstone relay can be placed on item ducts, fluid ducts, structural ducts, pretty much those 3. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to just send a basic signal through the pipe. And that is just by doing this, so we can put 2 inputs on both ends, and then we just switch one of these guys out to be an output by just clicking on this, and it'll change to a redstone output. And then when we do this, flick this lever, we will send a signal straight through, and that's just on all the basic settings. So we got a power of 12 coming in right now, and because it's on scaled, it means it's going to keep the power of 12 coming all the way through, and that will carry on through to here where we have a power of 12. Now, if we switch this over to inverted scaled, it means it's going to take the number of power we have coming in, so in this case 12, and take that away from 15, which is the max redstone signal strength, and that will give you a power of 3 coming out on this end here. So then the next mode we have is the threshold mode, and if the power is greater than or equal to 0, then a signal will go through. So the power is greater than or equal to 0 right now, so that means there is a signal of 15 coming out on that end. If we change that, if we increase the threshold to greater than or equal to 13, then no power will be coming out, because this isn't actually greater than or equal to the power of 13 because it's a power of 12. If we went ahead and moved the lever a bit closer, you'd notice this turns on because now we have a power of 13 coming in, and if we set that to 14, then nothing would come through. That's essentially how that works. And there's also an inverted threshold mode, which means that the power has to be less than or equal to 14. So right now we have a power of 13 coming in, and it is less than 14. But if we set that to 12, no power will come through, because this power is actually now too great for this to send a signal through, because we set the threshold at 12, which means that the power is, this is just saying, oh, you're too big for me to send a signal through, so I'm not going to. And that's essentially how this thing works on basic redstone signals. We also have these little color things here, so we have green and red, and this just means you can have multiple redstone signals coming out of different areas. So if we had like an output over here, an output here, and we set this one to green, for example, this one would now actually be reading the signal. So if I change that to an input and change that to regular scale, the power would only actually come out over here because this is set on the green setting. And there are multiple different colors. If I change that to brown, then nothing's going to come out because nothing's set on that green. So it just means you can run multiple redstone signals through the same pipes. So I can have an input over here now as well, and I can set this to brown, and this one's reading this one here is connected to this one here, and this one here is connected to this one here by the colors. And that's essentially what this thing does. Now we'll get into the comparator mode. So the comparator mode kind of works like a chest is there. So if I have it on comparator mode here, and right now it is reading the signal, that the strength of the amount of items in the chest, basically. So if I throw some chests in there, it's going to be sending out a signal of 1 because there is a single stack in there. If I fill this chest up a little bit, it's going to be sending out a bigger signal, etc, etc. We also have the inverted scaled, so there's a power of 6 going in there. So 15 minus 6 is 9, so that means a power of 9 is actually going to come out that end because it's inverted. And then we have the threshold, so if the power is too great, etc, it won't send out a signal, or it will. And the inverted, it basically works the same as before. You can also change all of the stuff over here, like the inverted scaled. So there's a power of 6 going in right now. So that means a power of 9 is going to come out this end because we've now inverted it. And there's also the threshold over here. So yeah, that pretty much covers the redstone relay, and it is very complicated, and I'm not sure how good my explanation was. So I do apologize if it was terrible. Okay guys, I hope you did enjoy this one, and if you did, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Or if you did find it useful, the latter. So yeah, I guess I will see you guys next time for part 7. Bye bye.